Hi everyone, it's Cathryn Sparks here, and I am coming to you today with a bit of a bittersweet impromptu video. For those of you who are new here and don't know me, I'm an astrologer and a spiritual coach, a priestess, and practice various modalities of those things. But I'm coming today because I've been working on another video regarding the Gabby Petito case. And in that video, I wanted to highlight the way that astrology can help in situations of understanding the nature of things like toxic relationships and domestic violence. But I also wanted to highlight the way that astrology can be helpful in criminal investigations and in finding lost persons or perpetrators of crimes. And this area of astrology is called forensic astrology, and it is fascinating and highly accurate, but not widely known about. This is an area of astrology that I practice, but I don't advertise it, and I don't ever take money for doing it. It's purely on a volunteer basis. And so as a part of the Gabby Petito case, I wanted to highlight a couple of other missing or murdered women in the Florida area. And both are women of color, because another part of this case is that people are talking about how white women do get more media attention when we go missing or are murdered. And this is indisputable. It's true. So while we understand that no one is privileged in being murdered, we have a responsibility to ensure the memories of these women like Gabby help other women that don't get the help that we inherently do if we're in trouble. So one of the cases that I decided to highlight was the case of this young lady in Orange County, Florida. And her name is Miya Marcano. And Miya was a lovely, as you can see, 19-year-old girl who disappeared from her place of work last Friday. She worked at the apartment complex in which she lived, and a coworker admired her, and she did not return his affection. So he felt that it was within his right to take her, and subsequently to take her life. Now, this young man, he ended his own life a couple of days later, and they found his body. But they have been searching for Miya for a week, and her family has been devastated and without answers. And I know that their community there has been very engaged in looking for her. So last week, I decided to see if I could help by erecting a chart. So I took the time and place that she was last seen, and I erected this chart from that information. From that chart, last week, I created this map. This was the first map that I created from that chart. This was the location that she was last seen, the place of her abduction. Then a couple of days later, this line here leads to this yellow marker, which is the marker for Saturn. If we're looking for a body in a chart, whether it's the perpetrator or the victim, Saturn is a very good place to look. In this case, a couple of days after her disappearance, this red marker here was where the body of her abductor and murderer was found. So in that situation, that Saturn really did indicate a body. So since that made itself known in the chart and she was still nowhere to be found, there were other indicators that we needed to look at. In a chart, the angles, in a forensic chart, the angles are very important, and those are the blue lines here. You'll often find the person themselves or the perpetrator of a crime along those lines, or very significant points of interest in a case. And then these other markers were other areas that I found interesting in the chart that I thought may be beneficial for exploration or searching. And in fact, at the time I did the map, this white marker here was where they were currently looking for her. Based on the intersections of all these parts of the chart, I thought that made a lot of sense that they would be searching there. But then today, this beautiful young lady was found, and she was found here. And as you can see, this is exactly on one of these angles and at the same diameter as him. This is often the way forensic charts end up playing out, is when you find out the locations, they're pretty exact. This was incredibly sad. This young woman was 19 years old. I am a mother to a daughter. I was a young woman myself too once, and it just breaks my heart that she was taken and her life was stolen from her. When I heard the news that she had been found today, I wanted to make this video, pay tribute to her, share my sympathies with her family and friends and all of those who loved her. From everything that I've read and heard, she was an extraordinary young woman. May her memory always be a blessing. I'm still going to release the video about Gabby Petito and the other young lady who was murdered with her 4-month-old child in her arms. They know, obviously they know where her body was, but her killer is still on the loose. So I'm going to talk about her, and if anyone else has a missing person that they would like to post in the comments for me to do a chart on, maybe we could help find someone or just give some direction from the stars. And then I'm going to talk about the astrology of toxic relationships and domestic violence based on Brian and Gabby's chart. What lessons those types of contacts have for us, and maybe we can learn them without having to experience them ourselves, and we can help other people who are in those situations. So included in this video in the show notes, I am listing the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Please, if you are in an abusive relationship, even if you're not sure that you think you might be, call them, call someone, and talk about it. These things are really hard to talk about, and sometimes people make you feel crazy, and you're not. No matter how much you love that other person that you're in a relationship with that you think hurts you, no matter how much you love them, you can't save them. You can only save yourself. So please call the national hotline, call a friend, call law enforcement, or just go and save yourself. I'm also going to include in the show notes the FBI database for missing and kidnapped people. So have a look on there. Let's work together to find some people. I'm also including the National Center for Abused and Exploited Children, which we always need to keep aware of. This isn't really a like and subscribe video. This is more of a go and hug your loved ones tight. And let's just pray for Mia's family and the families of all of those out there who are experiencing these horrible kinds of tragedies. And let's work together to do what we can to save who we can and learn the lessons that we're able to. I hope everyone is having a good day, and I will be back soon.